It's fine, sweetie.
I do feel like there's this thing where people online do want to feel special. I want to call it like the Taylor Swift effect because I think that she's so successful because she I don't even know if she did it intentionally or if or if she just exploited it. But when people are like looking for Easter eggs, I think that that's why they feel like she's so engaging with them that
Yeah.
they look for quote unquote Easter eggs in all of her music. And I think that effect makes people feel special, you know?
Mhm.
Anyway, it's fine, sweetie. It's a podcast with me and you and you. I'm Andrea, that Clarence, and that is Danielle. And
Yeah, so I think like this week in TikTok land, there's been a lot of interesting stories, but also on Netflix. So this summer, I read all of the available Thursday Murder Club books. And at the end of them, if you listen to Audible, there's this little like snippet from the author, and he's being interviewed by someone. And he will say, like they're talking about like making it into a film. And he's like, oh, I think it would be really great if we had Helen Mirren and some other people play out the characters. And so they did make a show on Netflix, and I know you have to change things to make it TV ready, but they made it into just one movie instead of a series. And then they like arrested my favorite character, and I'm sure that means he's like not going to be able, if they ever do it again, he's not going to be able to like assume the roles he's had in subsequent books. So yeah, so it was a pretty sad day and that, but then after I got done watching that, I started watching Unknown Caller, the
oh
high
my
school
God.
catfish, which I thought it was something that maybe I'd already seen before, but thankfully Netflix puts those little like, when it was made, 2025 on there so that you're like, "Oh, okay, maybe I didn't, but I did think it was gonna be a repeat of of a story I've heard before." And then it was up to a certain point. I think, like there's been like those ones where there's like been a high school catfish and it's like, usually some girl's getting catfished by a boy and it turns out it's like her frenemies mom or whatever.
Right.
Um, and I guess spoiler alert, so go watch it and come back. But so 3, 2, 1, get off. It wasn't the frenemy's mom, it was her mom.
To that I say her mom is her fucking friend of me. How could you wait like the type of text messages? It wasn't just, hey, nobody likes you. It was you today you wore leggings and you look like a fucking slut. So like was that her mom just thinking that? And just like I'll find a way to
I think like the things that were like really trippy to me was like no one, wants to date you, you're boring. He wants to have sex. His D, my P,
they were
like
really vulgar. There was that one that was like my tits in his face. Like, why would you send that to your kid?
yeah, I don't know.
But
And then even the ones that are like kill yourself. I just I don't know, cause like, even when she starts giving her explanations, like, I don't know, I just thought that there was gonna be some, like, brother or somebody that we didn't know about that's, like, at the house and using her phone, and that's why, like, her IP, something like that. I did not expect that, like, when the cops confronted the mom, for it to be like, "Oh, yeah, I did do that." And it didn't start off this way, and I was like,
It
"What?"
kind of is though. Like,
Like, what do you mean? Yeah, and then I guess, like, to me, what's the really sad part is, her daughter being like, "Oh, but I don't know, I think that there's just this, like, piece of, like, human nature of, like, not wanting to be I don't know, but, like, for her to be like, "I still wanna be close to my mom." Like, I don't think it's, like, as easy as it seems to just decide to cut your mom off, even though you know she's done these really terrible things. Like, I was thinking, like, if she maintains a relationship with her mom, when she has a baby, I think it's gonna, like, trigger this whole thing over again. Like, all of those feelings of, like, because when your kid starts doing stuff that, like, I think it triggers something like mortality. Like, when your kid starts doing things that's like, "This is clearly grown-up stuff. They're not a kid anymore." You know what I mean? I think it triggers, like, the piece of you that realizes, like, eventually you won't be here anymore.
Interesting.
You're never gonna be able to, like, get married again or have kids again, or maybe you will be able to get married again, but, like, a lot of the things that your kid is doing, like going to college or whatever, it's, like, stuff that you would never be able to do, and for whatever reason, I feel like high school triggered that feeling in her mom, and so to me, it just seems like eventually that'll come up again.
No, I think she had the hots for Owen, bro.
Yeah, but you don't think, like, she's gonna have the hots for her next boyfriend or you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see how it's never gonna happen again,
Now she watched
unless she's
Owen
got
grow
some
up. He made some muscles, and she was like, "Damn, Owen."
she's
I
crazy. I just don't think that that's true. I mean, I guess, like, there's no way for us to know because 'cause I'm
I
sure
think she
she'd
hates
never
I
tell
think she
us.
hates her little girl. Like, there's one
Her
piece
daughter
of
is pretty, and she's not.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I think that happens a lot though, right?
A
Like, you
lot.
make a kid, and then that kid comes out looking better than you, and you're like, "Oh, shit."
two ugly parents too. Like dad wasn't attractive either. So
But
like,
dad, he at least was like,
stood on business.
"Call your mom."
I'll go
Yeah.
call her. Fuck it, I'll
He's
call her.
like, "Call your parents, you can't stay here." She's like, "I can't leave her." He's like, "Get
We're
out."
done. We're
But then,
done.
like, when he starts telling the stories of, like, okay, she's lied about having a job, she's lied about paying the mortgage, she's lied about paying the rent, she lied about paying storage, she did all these things, it's just like, I just don't think that's a stable person. I don't think Owen is the only thing that, like, right pushed her over the edge, but I don't know, I mean and I
Yeah.
felt really bad for Chloe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, Chloe. You can tell Chloe's an asshole.
She
Um.
really is an asshole, but she didn't deserve that. She's like, "I
Nah.
mean, I'm doing other asshole shit, you know, call me on
Right.
my real asshole shit, but, like, this wasn't me."
It just gave her. She loves it. It gave her beneficial, or it gave her the house. So,
Uh,
how did he not know she lost her job when they moved to 4 different houses?
I honestly think that sometimes people are more like I think your brain does this thing of, like, really trying to, like, not
Yep.
believe that
Benefit of the doubt.
yeah, like, I don't know, I was trying to explain this to someone because it's like it doesn't sound logical, and I think that's what, like, when you're young and you think about songs that are like Love Is Blind or Love Does, Love Does These Things to You, like, there's a lot that you kind of, like, fill in for yourself when it's someone you love or trust or someone, like you're like, "Okay, a mom should want to, like, take care of the family, right?" Like, other people's wives are paying their bills,
But
and
there's
they're
also
just bringing home the check. Like, I think there's, like, this level of, like, not wanting to take that on. Like, it's probably a piece of him knew that she was, like, gone off the
Fucking
deep
hell.
end, but he probably never imagined that she was, like, traumatizing their daughter this way also.
I think that there's also a piece of you that I don't think it's even you have to be in a loving relationship for this. There's some piece of you that's like you've thought something before and then it turned out to be true and you're like, I don't want to fucking be crazy. Like I don't want to be crazy. I just need a little proof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't get the proof. You suspect it, but you can't get the proof. And then there's also like a part of you that's like, you might tell a friend, and then that friend is like, okay, but like, cause you don't want to push your friend over the edge either and
Yeah.
have it be wrong. So like, there's some hedging against you being crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true too, because it's like I think like a lot of people want to give like even the people in your stories like some kind of benefit of the doubt. Like I was, like again, like even Owen's mom was like, no, like it doesn't make sense. The girl was getting like threats. Also, she was like, at her wit's end. Like it doesn't make sense to me. It's like logically it doesn't make sense. But then Chloe's parents were like, fuck that. Fuck her mom, fuck her dad too. Like they were probably all in on it. It was like, like they don't have there's no love lost there. But I don't know, I think that there was like a lot of like benefit of the doubts of like, I can't believe that. So it like your brain has to like go through this process of like deconstructing what you know and like accepting what's real.
And doesn't your brain try and protect you from like the deep hurt of betrayal?
Yeah, isn't that what cognitive dissonance is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's what cognitive dissonance is, but well, cognitive
Like I
dissonance
think
is like able to hold two thoughts at once, but it is an uncomfortable feeling.
yeah, of like isn't cognitive dissonance like the reaction
Holding
you're
two or more conflicting beliefs, values, or attitudes,
yeah.
or when your beliefs conflict with your behavior. So I think cognitive dissonance on the mom's part.
I don't know, cause it just was like she's like, "I don't know, I do love her." It was just a mess, I don't know, but I am definitely scared for that little girl, cause like, I just don't think it stops. And it's like, I don't know what kinda intense, like, psychotherapy that woman's getting, but
Okay, you
Well,
can have dissociative amnesia, which is a condition that happens when your mind tries to block out important memories about yourself. These memories are often of traumatic or distressing events. And then you can also have something called betrayal blindness, which is a survival mechanism where the brain blocks out the awareness of harmful actions by a trusted person to maintain dependence and ensure survival.
so that's what the daughter probably has.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause that's what
And especially
so
because you
what's it
end up
called
living
again?
for survival. Trail blindness.
Yeah, that one makes sense, and probably dad too, right? Like, until it got to a certain point.
Right.
So I think like, yeah, like even as the daughter is like, I just can't imagine. I mean, I think like again, like I don't know what it's like to have a mom that like actively seeks to destroy you. But I imagine that like it's gonna take a lot longer than just a few months for her to reconcile with.
especially when you consider the fact she's probably been manipulated her entire life.
Right.
Entire life. I mean, and she's like not even an adult. She's still in high school.
Why do
And
you
like
think
just looking at those pictures when it started, like they actually have baby faces.
they were
They
Yeah.
have baby faces. Like you have
Yeah.
to be fucking crazy to send that shit to somebody that looks like that. Like they're tiny. They're baby.
Yeah, I
That's
think there was probably a lot of jealousy. Like she's good at sports. She's got this boyfriend. She's popular, so there's that jealousy. That's why I'm saying like I feel like weddings and babies or whatever because you get a lot of attention when you're getting married. You get a lot of attention when you're pregnant and about to have a baby. And I just can't imagine that that's not going
You're
to like
saying
what
there's no way she could ever trust her mom.
I'm saying that in the big important moments in her life, her mom is going to show up
flip
like this
shit.
again. Yeah.
You know,
I would worry that my mom would kill me eventually.
I
I
mean, yeah,
mean, I feel like wasn't that next? Like, imagine your mom is telling you to kill yourself and she's in the next room and you're like going to her for comfort.
Right.
and then she's like, eat this too.
And just
Right.
imagine like at night, you know how like parents talk when the kids go to sleep and he's like, well, what are we gonna do? Like our kid is suicidal, blah 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 blah. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it or whatever.
She'll be.
Yeah, she goes, I never had
That
the
is what I
inclination that
never worried about it, right?
yeah, she goes, I never worried that she was gonna kill herself. Like,
Because
because
I'm the
what?
one comforting her.
So they were like, I mean, I think that they were right. It's like a form of Munchausen's that's like that's like different.
Yeah, cyber.
Yeah.
Why do you think Owen is still mad at her, at Lauren?
I think that a piece of them all believe that Lauren had something to do with it, but also I think it's hard to like be friends with a person when like their family caused so much harm to you and they're still friends with their family. I mean, I feel like it's really along the lines of like when people are in abusive relationships and you're like trying to like be like, okay, girl, let's just get out of that relationship, and you bring them to your house, and then the boyfriend calls and does all the dumb shit like that's never happened before and it'll never happen again. And you're like, girl, please, he beat you 2 weeks ago, like whatever. And then she goes back to him like there's a part of you that's like angry that she goes back. And so it's like I imagine that Owen has a lot of anger himself.
There's also probably like he's scared. Like he's scared of what if Lauren has whatever trait her mom
That's
has
true too.
that
I
made
would
her do
too.
this. And sometimes like being scared shows up as anger.
I can't believe that they still live in the same town.
Yeah, Dad should have moved her.
Like that part to me seems insane.
But now there's a whole Netflix documentary because Dad
Yeah,
needed
but
somebody
still,
to
like
get the
America
shit.
is huge, right? So like, like if removed from context, there might be some people that'd be like, "Aren't you?" But I don't think like right off the bat they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah,
Start going by your middle name.
yeah."
Can we
I
talk
mean,
about
eventually somebody will find out, but
how Lauren didn't even react? Like there was no
I really think that was shock. She was just like, I don't think that this poor girl. I don't know. I hope her dad gotten her some counseling or therapy or something. But just watching her, I was just like, because like who expects it to be your mom? And then she's just like sitting there, and then her mom's like, "Oh, Probosita, give me. I'm just gonna comfort her." Like, I think it was confusing.
so fucked up.
I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, because I
I
don't
think
think.
I'm
Fight her. You
I
fight
think
her,
I'm
bro. You punch her
outside
in
of
the
my
face.
outside of my fucking body. Outside of like outside like okay, you have a basketball game and somebody is texting you mean shit about the stuff that happened in the basketball game. In my mind, and maybe it's because I've read too many like novels, but you start to get fucking paranoid and you're like, they're watching me all the time. They know about the leggings I wear. And you just start like the internal process of you going fucking crazy. And then you're like, bam, it was the person closest to you all along.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know how you catch up with that. Like, your brain.
I think that like your brain is like, what? Yeah, I think there's a lot that you have to process. Like you have to be like, well, this has been. I mean, at that point, it had been happening for 20 months. That's almost 2 years.
2 years.
You ever have something happen to you and then randomly you'll be driving down the road like, damn, I can't believe that happened. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
imagine like 10 years from now, she's going to be like, God damn.
I mean, I think that honestly, as she gets older, that she'll be like thinking about it and be like, my mom told me to kill myself. Not once.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
In a lot of creative ways.
And then she told me, like, no one likes me, da 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 da. He doesn't want to be with you. He wants to be with me.
That she was going to fuck my 14-year-old boyfriend. Like, it's
It got gnarly, bro. So yeah, I don't know. That was a trip. Wasn't expecting that. And kudos to whoever produced that because the way that they did it, like I sat there for like almost through her whole confession and just was like, this they're no. They're editing this weird. And then I was like, "Nah, she fucking did it. She did it." I was like, "I don't know." So even I don't even know this lady, and I was already like, "Mm-mm, she wouldn't do that to her kid." No.
No.
her.
I mean,
kid?
yeah, it was like, which is crazy because I just watched all these shows about like all these people like murdering their teenage kids, and then
Oh my God.
it's called like Deadliest Moms or whatever, Moms and Dads, and it's like about people who murdered their children, and so for me to like not believe that like parents would do crazy shit to their kids like that is really exceptional.
Far-fetched. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, you were just watching people like, yeah, do all kind of horrible things to their kids. and you don't believe that this would happen. But yeah, anyway, so that was Netflix this week. And I guess back to TikTok.
So
Um,
I saw
yeah.
this thing, and I don't know who this influencer is, and I don't like understand the lore why they've been following this lady for so long. But there's this family vlogger. At some point, I think they did like a GoFundMe or something. But the part that I saw was,
Oh, wait, what was the woman's name that whose bank account they looked up?
I think it's like Kayla or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Go ahead.
The part that I saw was somebody going, "Hey, like, I work at a bank. You can't fucking do this." They can tell who looked it up. So apparently, this family vlogger at some point they did. Kelsey and Curtis are the creators' name.
Oh, okay.
They did like a GoFundMe or whatever, but then they also have a family vlog, so people assume that they have a lot of money and they're building a house or they just moved houses or some shit like that. So somebody was like, there are these communities on Reddit, they're like snark communities, where if you hate a certain popular TikTok account, there's probably a Reddit community for it, where people just go in there and talk shit. So they're
Mhm.
in there. Somebody was like, if you have dirt, send it to me. And so somebody who works at their bank looked up their banking information and sent it to this person looking that's a snark account and sent it to him and like sent actual images with like the account number at the bottom of checks and shit. And they're like, yeah, she has this check, but she took it out. She took out $73,000 here. She did da 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 da. So I think they're lying and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, first of all, how do you think that they don't have tracking software to tell who looked at what account when at a fucking bank? That should have been in your fucking training. Number one. Number two, what definitely I know was in your training, I've never worked at a bank, was don't show people's fucking account numbers. And number three, was it worth you're going to jail.
Fam-
Well, account numbers, but account information too. Like when you call into the bank, they won't even like talk to you about your, latest charges until you prove like 15, different
Right.
ways that you're the person. And some banks don't even talk to you over the phone. So it's like my information is not secure at your bank because your employees are willing to share it. Like I think you can get in trouble with like freaking DirecTV for giving people's information. Like if someone was like Cardi B subscribes to only 6 channels, then like you could get in trouble for that.
I
So
work
imagine like somebody's banking information.
I work where I work and I've worked at places like this in the past. We can't even just with data at all, like somebody's address. So, and I mean, I've worked at places that just did appraisals on houses, and we would get over and over and over again told, do not include somebody's name and their address at the same time, even,
Yeah.
right? Even if you're sending it internally, because email can be hacked, you have to black it out.
Well, I
Even if you
think
send it to the person sitting next to
yeah.
you.
Even at schools, like you can't put a kid's name in the email title because there's like, well, someone could be walking by and like see that there's a kid, that you're talking about this particular kid, you have to put their initials. So there's like all these protections. So it's like, yeah, no, there's no way that this is not going to get you in trouble. And she knew that. And
I
so
just don't understand why people or how people get so caught up and like being the special person who figured out the riddle about whatever the fuck and like going to links that would actually get you put in fucking jail for that. Just, I mean, like, you don't even win anything except, I told.
I don't know. I mean,
No, you get clout, bro.
But what am I going to do with clout?
where you're like, oh, I'm an investigative journalist, but you don't realize like investigative journalists have to like go through all these steps to like get publicly available public information. Like they don't just get people's bank accounts they don't go to Bank of America and go, hey, I need access to, Mitt Romney's bank accounts, like it's just, yeah. So I don't know. I think people want to be able to skip steps. And you're right. Like they want to get clout. Like this is going to go viral or this is going to be the thing, but I just don't. I don't know if people are like not smart enough to know. Like even with the girl that worked at Mac, right, where she. I mean, it's not
Yes,
the same
at the
thing.
airport, and she showed all the
She
Oh,
showed, like, how to
mhm.
get in, how that they have a safe, they have her bringing in money and all these things, and she was like, "I got fired, and I would never jeopardize my job," and I'm like, "Babe,
like,
all you
before
did was
lunch, she got fired,
Yeah.
bro. They were not playing, dog. Like 11 o'clock, you got
I was
You didn't even
like
get fired by Matt. You got fired by
the
LAX.
airport.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like,
they
you are a security risk. Goodbye.
right, sorry, and please publicly say that you don't work here anymore. Because I think that, like, again, like, because what was a rapper's name that died in California? No, not Nipsey Hussle, but, like, some other rapper had come out here into California, and, like, a brand sent him free shit, and he was, like, filming the free stuff, but he got his address on there, the address that they were staying in. And so he put it was on social media. Then people were like, "Yo, take that off." He did, but not before like LA
The screen
people,
grab.
yeah, like screen grabbed the address and robbed him and shot him in this like house or whatever to like steal stuff. But it's just, I mean, like LA is beautiful and there's like lots going on, but there's a lot of people that are desperate also. So it's just like that's not safe. I mean, I don't think it'd be safe anywhere to tell them like how.
And people don't even have to be desperate to fucking shoot you. They could just want
Again, clout, bro. If I
right.
shoot you, I get clout.
Yeah,
I'm
but
I'm the
also
one that took him down.
I'm the guy who has all this money in my hand. So it's like there's clout on both ends, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that people get carried away and don't think all the way through. Again, I don't know, these are probably all young people.
Yeah.
And you know how like young people are like they think they're invincible.
I mean, but
It's
you
like
got old people breaking in and killing Congress people. So I mean, like,
Yeah, but I think they were ready to die.
it's like that other girl who worked at Lululemon
Yeah.
and posted that story. Did you see that?
Yes.
mm,
You want to tell
She
us?
gets on there. She starts this off and she's like, I got fired from Lululemon for no reason. I've worked there for 7 years. And so like people are like settling in, ready to hear this awful story. And she goes, they fired me for processing unverified returns, which is a return without a receipt. And so she goes through this whole thing and basically describes a scenario where every time her mom comes into Lululemon, she's the one, her mom does a lot of returns and she's always the one that processes it. Her mom buys a lot of stuff and she's always the one that checks her mom out. And when she does that, she gives her mom her employee discount, which is a no no. And then she'll buy things with her own employee discount and then gift them to her mom. And then her mom will bring them back in because Lululemon has like a lifetime warranty. So she processes them as an unverified return. And then one time her mom she bought something with her employee discount, gave it to her mom. Her mom brought it back in to return it. She returned it at full price and gave her mom a gift card. And then her mom gifted her the gift card, and then she went shopping with it. And then Lost Revenge was like, "What the fuck is? What do you do? No, like this is all the way against policy. What the fuck are you doing?" And so this girl goes, and I just find it funny that this woman who makes like six figures has the time to worry about what $125 gift card. She should just have better things to do than worry about me. And I don't understand why everybody's so mad. And it doesn't even matter. My mom just likes to talk a lot. So that's why I just do it as an unverified return so she can just go. My mom talks too much. And she's like indignant and people are like, hey yo, bro, that's stealing?
Yeah, that's super fraud.
All of it.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, again, it's like she's also young, but her mom is old enough to know better. And it's like you should be really excited that your daughter didn't get charged with like any kind of felonies or go to jail because
these
that's
parents don't
crazy.
give a shit about their kids.
You don't think so?
I really don't.
Mm.
I couldn't figure out if they knew they were doing a fraud or
They
mom
just
was
ignorant.
doing a fraud or and the daughter didn't understand what was happening, or there it's just like a lot of privilege, and I don't know. I couldn't figure out which way it went, or if it's some combination of both.
I don't know. I mean, that's I think the other thing that's like probably really crazy is like that manipulators have you thinking, "Oh, is this manipulation? Or are you a dumbass?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
the gaslight is real.
yeah, because like there's really no way. And I think like again, the rational brain like wants to give a person the benefit of the doubt to be like, you know, this is you didn't do this on purpose, right? But here, let me introduce you to like the fact that this is fraud. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know because I've worked at places where like people have done really shady shit, and then they're like, I had no idea, and like, how dare you write me up? Like, basically, this should be a warning, not like a write up. And the part of you feels like, yeah, maybe I should tell you, have to tell you whatever because it's not in the handbook specifically, but like, there's also the reasonable expectation that you're not going to commit fraud. I guess I
Right,
don't
but
know.
how can the handbook cover every creative way that somebody could think of to do a fraud?
Without
Yeah.
teaching you how to do fraud.
I know,
That's
but that's the thing. It's like the handbook would have to have like 50 million different scenarios. You'd be like, okay, one time Bobby came in and, did this and it's just a no go. And here's why. But you're like, ultimately, that you shouldn't be like processing unverified returns. That's why they're unverified. You shouldn't be ringing out your own family. You shouldn't be giving your family an employee discount. Like all of these things are
But
like,
also, how do you not have enough self-preservation skills, even if you don't intend to do a fraud, to just be like, I'm not fucking ringing out my mom because I don't want them to think at all? Or is that like exclusively like a person of color or a black person thing?
That's a black
Because
people thing.
or
because
just, yeah, like anybody who's afraid of going to jail. Like, I think that for her, she's just like, there's like a privilege of like,
what difference does it make?
yeah, I mean, she got on the internet and told us.
She did.
Yeah, so it's like
And
she
she was
definitely
very
doesn't feel
indignant.
like,
She thought we were gonna hate women.
yeah, she didn't think she did anything wrong. So she's like, I mean, yeah, I did that, but I'm not in the wrong. I was talking to this person today and I was like, I don't know, hopefully they don't recognize themselves in this story, but she was talking about like, I know I'm not the problem, like, whatever. And then she's like, yeah, I paid someone to slash his tires, but
Okay.
um, I'm not the problem. I'm like,
It sounds a little problematic.
I
But
mean,
you deserve to have
the
your flag.
right. I'm like, I
Every
I understand the impulse and the because she's like, because he thought it was a game. I was like, I mean, okay,
Sometimes you
you
got to
know,
pop out. Shut up.
yeah,
when you pop out, no people, you have to recognize what I am doing is fucked up, and that's the pop out part,
yeah.
right?
I'm a
That's
little
why
bit of
people
the
can only do
problem.
it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
Am I the drama?
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the drama, babe. And I was like, "Oh, okay." I can see how they might think you're the drama.
Right.
But it's just like, I don't know, like a lot of people, I think wholeheartedly she believes that she's not the problem because like in her mind, he was fucking around and he found out.
That is fucking crazy because, like, I'll tell you, I'll confess. There have been times I bald face fucking lied and been like, I don't know what you're talking about. Why is that a problem? When I know I was the fucking problem. And so I think I have a hard time believing people don't know that they're the problem because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I know that what I did. I will, even if I don't know that I did something wrong, I'll recognize it halfway through explaining it and I'll still go, not me, I'm not the problem. But in my own brain, I'm like, girl.
Yeah,
Like,
like, girl, you definitely are the problem. I think I told you that time I had that conversation with the principal where she was like, where I kind of like shut down the whole cheerleading team. And then what happened is like, there's this girl and I was coaching middle school at the time and she didn't like me. She was like really upset with me, which I can't even remember why. But so I was giving everybody a ride to like the tumbling place location and I couldn't fit everybody in my little Sentra. So I had to like take multiple trips. So on the last trip, I was like, "Do you want me to give you a ride to the tumbling place?" Because her ride hadn't come yet, and she was going to be at the school by herself, and she was like, "No, my so and so's coming." And so I was like, "Okay," and then I just drove off. But her mom was super pissed that I would leave her kid at the school, and then the principal was like, "Okay," when we talked to the parent, she was like, Miss Campbell asked, da 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 da. And then whenever the parent left, she goes, "You were dead ass wrong for that, right?" She's fucking a kid. You shouldn't have left her. And I was like, "Okay, I understand." She's like, "I don't give a shit what she said. Like you should have dropped off those kids and come back and made sure she got picked up or whatever." Like, it's like, but like ultimately you're the adult and you don't leave a kid at school. And I was like, "Okay, I feel like in my mind, that's the kind of like principal, mentor, like whoever that you need to be like somebody to turn around and be like, girl, that shit was fucked
What
up.
was
Cause
you
I'm,
thinking?
yeah, cause I might have like walked around for like ever and been like, yeah, cause I asked her and she said no. But then it's like, again, my 10-year-old is probably going to tell me that she doesn't need a ride also. Like,
Right.
is it right to leave her there? Probably not.
Oh,
Like, she's so smart. She's like, "Oh yeah, my dad's coming. Like, leave me the fuck alone." And then I probably would have an inclination to be like, "All right, he's coming." Screw- leave and go mind my business. But it doesn't make it right. So it's like sometimes people need to be called out, but I don't think oh, like did you see the girl that was going to go on a date? Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, the girl that was supposed to go on a church date?
mm-mm.
Oh,
Oh yes. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Yes. Kelly. Yes.
yeah, like, that was hilarious too, cause like, okay, so she goes again, she gets on the internet, she's expecting everybody to be on her side, and again, like, you don't know if you're, like, being gaslit, like, do you really want us to be on your side, or are you just telling us this story because you know that we're gonna be angry? So, dude invites her to go to church with his family. Church starts at 10. He gets there at, like, 9:25 or something. She's not ready. So she's like, okay, putting on her makeup or whatever. Now they're like running behind. Dude's like, kind of tripped out because he's like, we're running behind. She's like, I need a little Starbies. I need to go to Starbucks. So he's
It's
like,
like 9:50 at this point.
yeah, he's like, okay, whatever. He goes to Starbucks because he's like, we're going to be late. She's like, but it won't take that long. I just need some Starbucks. So he's like, all right. He goes to Starbucks, get her little Starbies. Then they pull up to the place. Now it's 10 o'clock. They pulled up to church. Church starts at 10. It's 10 o'clock. His parents have saved seats for them. She's like, now I got to put on my lip and wipe the oil off of my feet. So he gets out of the car and he's like, I'll
Wipe
meet you
the
in.
oil off your feet?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is. Like, I went to the comments to try to figure out, like, is that a thing? But everybody else was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That she's like, because your feet, like whatever. And people were like, I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, so she's, like, online, like, because then the dude gets out the car and goes into church while she's still, like, wiping the oil off her feet and, like, putting the lip stuff on. And then he comes back out and he's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Well, I didn't wanna come in because you left me and, like, basically neglected me and whatever. So, like, like, that's on you." And, like, he just wasn't, like, treating me like a princess or whatever, and he abandoned me. And so the whole
He
like,
did.
all the comments were like, "Ma'am, leave that God-fearing man alone. You didn't wanna go to church. You coulda just said that." And she's like and then she's fighting in the comments, like, basically, like, telling everybody to mind their business.
After she posted this on the internet?
Yeah.
Well, because she thought everybody's gonna be like, he ain't shit, girl. You dodged a bullet. And people are like, ma'am, you were dead ass wrong. Dead ass wrong starting at 9 fucking 30. You were wrong. But she literally was like, I think she started it like, am I wrong? Because he says that I'm wrong. I don't think that I am. And then she tells the story and she's like, he's wrong, right? And like, just her face was so serious. And I'm like, I can't believe this story. And does she go to work? Like, she does.
Yeah, I'm sure she's probably one of those people that's like, "Oh, I was just 15 minutes late 6 days in a row."
I had to get a Starbucks. But again, that's
My
fine
feet are
if you have to
oily.
get a Starbucks. But when I'm getting a Starbucks, I know I'm dead ass fucking wrong. I know
Sometimes it's
I am.
worth it though.
Yeah. But I just don't know how you don't know that you fucked up.
Delusion.
But how do you get to be a big ass age and be that delusional?
Like Clarice just said, you just don't have somebody who checks you and goes, "Hey, bro,
Oh,
the
you're
fuck
just
you doing?"
surrounded by delusional people?
No, you're surrounded by people who don't give a fuck about you, dog. Like, hey, it's just like, yeah, that's Tanya being Tanya. I ain't
I
got
feel
time to.
yeah, because like, sometimes when you're, like, trying to give people feedback, they get offended. Like, like, if you're like, "Oh, well, you sound like you might be the problem." Like, a lot of times, they just are talking to you to just, like, vent. They don't really want you to, like, say
Right.
anything. And then if you do say something, it's like, yeah, like, you're just being mean.
You're taking that motherfucking side.
Yeah, like, whose side are you on? I think I did have somebody ask me that because I was like, "I mean, it sounds confusing to me." And then they were like, "Whose side are you on?" I was like, "Oh,
My bad.
I thought I was on the side of rational thinking, but I guess not."
We
So,
don't do that around here.
they're like, "Babe, no. Like, you need to, like, just agree with what I say." And I think, like, sometimes I'm, like, try to be really cognizant of, like, having it be, like, words that I'm using when I'm just like, "I hear you," to, like, different words if it's like, "I agree with you." Because like, a lot of times when people are telling me stories, I'm like, "I don't agree," but,
I do hear what you're saying.
you
I
know,
understand.
I'm sorry that you're so frustrated, but also, like, have you considered therapy?
I guess there are those
Because you're
people and you're
jackass.
like trying to drop the hint and you can tell they're not getting it. You're like, oh, like I've had this conversation where you're like, okay, but did you consider X or well maybe why? And they're just like, no.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, I mean, and it seems apparent that, Church Girl was like that because all the comments that she's responded back to, she's like defending her actions and her choices, which I also feel like even Cardi B, right? Like, is like not the current trial, but like when
Oh my
she
god,
was
that
like
trial
the
is so
3X
funny.
thing,
Yeah.
she's like, I have fat fans and we all laugh and it's funny. I'm like,
But
ma'am, it doesn't make it okay.
it doesn't. And I think yeah, like there's inside joke and a out group joke. Like you just told the internet that's not everybody on the internet is gonna be your friend. But I did see somebody say Cardi B should write Samira a thank you note because Samira taught her a lesson and clearly Cardi B learned it because she's being sued for $24 million and part of the suit is Cardi called her a fat bitch. And so
I know,
the
and if that
lawyer for
judge
the
if that lawyer had actually looked at it and been like, "Yeah, but, like, here you are calling people fat and saying no,
right,
no,
right,
what she say? No Chick-fil-A for y'all," and,
right.
like, so we don't believe that you didn't call her a fat bitch
He really should have used that as evidence, but he didn't. And then
because
when
he's
he
a
tried to
terrible
get
lawyer.
he tried to get Cardi B to say it again, and she was like, "I'm just saying she looked like a security guard."
Yeah, she looks like
Good.
she could secure a building. She looks security heavy. I was like, "Oh, this is very
I was like,
sad."
"It's not funny, but it does seem like Cardi B learned her lesson a little bit. Like she took it to heart, and that's all I'm asking for is like,
Yeah, but, like,
listen,
she didn't say that to Samira, right? She was, like,
no."
all, like, gaslighting and, like, like, "I didn't even do anything, and you guys just bitches are mad for nothing." It's
But I feel
like,
like somebody in Cardi's camp probably took it to Cardi aside and explained it in a way Cardi could understand it.
yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I
And I
mean,
think it was probably Cardi B's lawyer was like, I saw this and hopefully he didn't see it and this is discoverable and this is exactly why you're being sued. So watch your fucking mouth.
right. Yeah, I mean, I guess any good lawyer would be like, "Yo, I don't give a fuck who you are.
Right.
I'm not trying to lose this case."
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just think that a lot of people are like, I saw some quote today that was like, if people could control their emotions, there would be a lot less prisons, which, is only half
Yes.
true, in some cases. But like, I mean, there's a lot of like where people are just like, they just lose their shit. They can't
There's this
think
there's
past.
this show on like free TV, and it's like they follow people. It's like a reality show where they follow people in jail, and they had one story on one day, and this guy he had 6 days left, and somebody called him a word he didn't like, got in a fight, and they were like, and the officer was like, "Hey, bro, you had 6 fucking days. We've talked about this. You have to get a hold of your emotions." He's like, "But I just can't let people disrespect me." And he's like,
Yeah.
"But now he is filing charges, and you're going to get years." And he goes, "Why would he file charges?" And he was so surprised. He was like, "I can't even believe that. Why would he do that?" And they were like, "Because he doesn't like you."
Because that was the whole point, right? Like
Right,
because you're getting out and he wants you to not. And then you just obliged.
right.
You were like,
And he
okay,
was
let's
so
make it
sad, and
happen.
he was crying, and the guy was like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna put you in solitary because you cannot handle your emotions. You can't. You need to figure it out." And so they were talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, the best thing that could happen to me is put me in solitary because I really can't. I can't. I just can't let people talk to me
Yeah,
anymore."
but like, what's he gonna do outside of there?
Right. Come right back in.
Yeah. But I think that there's a piece of you that has to like let go. There's even like a quote with Jay-Z where he's like, once I start understanding that hurt people, like life got easier because I could just be like, oh, you're trying to attack me, but like really this is
You
about
attack
you.
myself.
Yeah, you're not attacking me, you're attacking yourself. And so he's like, when I can like hold space for that instead of just reacting, like, oh, you're putting on a tough guy persona, but really you're hurting, then he's like, then that like freed me up from like having to come back to those conversations. And that probably saved his life.
It certainly made him a lot of money. But the other, and I was talking to my husband about this, is you have to get really good with not. It feels like there's a loop, and like it feels like it's like when you have a sneeze and you don't get to sneeze.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't complete like the anger cycle, you have to get really good with that feeling of incompleteness, or like that you didn't get your lick back. Like you have to kind of grieve that loss a little bit. You have to, and I know that sounds really dramatic, but that's the way I feel. Like when I want to cuss somebody out and I don't, like part of me is like, good, like good job, you learned that in therapy. Nice
Yeah.
work. But then the other part of me is like, but now the bitch doesn't fucking know.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
Right. And that's what my therapist was like. You are doing this so that you have more peace in your life. And that also doesn't mean that you never get to express yourself. You just have to pick. That's why it's sometimes you have to pop out.
But doesn't that just mean that, like, I don't know, how do you confront people without losing your emotional wherewithal?
I think you have to recognize that sometimes, even if you did cuss this person out, that doesn't mean that they learn. And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's not satisfactory for you because now all you did was maybe catch a case. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It
You ruined
doesn't
your
change
own day,
anything. Yeah.
and it didn't change anything anyway.
Don't you just end up leaving conflicts? Like, isn't there like a medium there? Like, you're not supposed to just pick up and leave every conflict, and you gotta pick your fights type shit.
You have to pick which ones are important to you, right? Like,
Mm.
I can't walk out of every conflict with my husband, but there are some conflicts where I'm like, hey, we're not seeing eye to eye together, and it's not worth it to keep going. So we just need to dead it. Like, that's it. And neither one of us is going to be satisfied.
Nah, it can't be me. I'd come back 30 minutes later and be like, another thing.
I mean, does that bring you any peace?
Brings me immense amounts of peace.
It brings you some dopamine. I don't think it brings you peace, baby.
Yeah. But, more power to you. I just feel like, I mean, I think that that's the other thing is like sometimes it is like about saying like how you feel and then, hoping that it resonates. But then if it doesn't, then it just kind of like is that radical acceptance of like, this is where they are and this is where, they've come to conclude. And like, I don't really feel like pleading my case with every single person. Like sometimes it's just like,
Right.
all right,
And then if there's too many, if there's too much of that, then it's just time to walk away. Period. Like
yeah.
that's done.
And I think that's the sad part is like when you start feeling that way, like, oh, okay, like this person doesn't value my opinion and like,
They don't give a shit.
yeah, like everything I say, feels like even I don't know if I should bring this up, but like today someone like said a statement to me and then it was like this morning. So it was like I was already kind of tired and I was like thinking about other stuff. So it was like, hey, I need to load the car. And it was like, no, I've already loaded everything. I was like, okay. And I don't know where this other person is, da 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 da. And I'm still like loading the car and they're like, hello, can anyone hear me? And I was like, yeah. What did you want me to say to that? I wanted some kind of response and I wanted, like basic decency. And you're like, but it was a statement. It wasn't, there was no
Wasn't
question. There was,
inquisitive. Yeah.
yeah, there wasn't like a thing. Like, what was I supposed to say to that? Like, but I think that like, again, in this person's mind, like they've built up like what is basic decency.
Right.
And so like for them, like this is basic decency and you're just being disrespectful. But for me, it's like I don't respond to every single thing people say.
Right.
Like, like what for whatever reason that feels tiring to me. Like if you said something and it doesn't feel like it needs a response and it's just like, like I don't know, I'm already doing something else. So I don't know. I think that like a lot of times like the stuff that we are upset about is
Is internal.
yeah, and it's rules that we've made up ourselves.
That was one of those things that was in that set. Hang
Yeah, that's what I thought was like the best part of that book was like, again,
we did say the
common
book name.
sense is, huh?
The book name.
Oh,
Set boundaries, find peace.
yeah. What the best part of that was just like, yeah, like you don't know what other people's experiences are. And so like you can't just be getting upset with people about stuff like things that you
Haven't
have
communicated.
adapted as,
Right.
yeah, like normal. This is what it means to be basic respect when like other people are like, I don't know that. I don't know what you expected there. And, you're upset for whatever reason. But even if you are upset and you tell me, like, well, this is what I think this is basic decency, like, it doesn't mean I'm going to do it every single time.
Right.
I feel like we see that a lot on the internet too, and it's kind of annoying. And I can't find another way to describe it except calling it like coercive control. Like when
Mm,
people like the thing that people call cancel culture and other people call accountability, we're holding somebody accountable. You can't hold like the word accountable means to take responsibility when you've betrayed what you agreed to be responsible for, right? So to take the consequence when you've betrayed what you agreed to be responsible for. That's what accountability is. But I haven't agreed to be responsible for everybody on the internet's feeling, nor have I agreed to be responsible for all the rules that literally any other person has in their head
yeah.
or their expectations of me unless they've clearly communicated them and I've accepted responsibility for them. There is no accountability that you can hold me to because I haven't agreed to them. And if
Yeah.
I don't know about them, I certainly can't respect them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And even if you tell me about them, you don't get to decide that I'm beholden to them.
Yeah. It's
And
like, I think that like with brands, there might be a little piece of like accountability, right? Because there's like Elf, right? Like if you're going to be all inclusive, then you're not going to promote someone like Matt Rife, who's like, staking his brand on like being
right.
non-inclusive. Like you do have some
Right. But your
responsibility.
messaging
Yeah.
Your messaging said, I agree to be responsible to an inclusive space.
Yeah. And so I think that what folks are missing is like once you start like making money on TikToks or whatever, then you are like a brand and there's pieces of like what you should be responsible for. And then there's pieces where it's like, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like I think I saw an influencer go into a space, he was gonna charge them $4,000 to do a video on net on whatever. And they're a small business. So they were like, never mind, no. And then he decided to go anyway. And he thought they would give him like a free French toast and like an orange juice or something. I don't even remember. And he wanted to bring a friend. And they were like, no. And he got on the internet and he was all upset again. Like they can't even afford to do XYZ. And I'm like, yeah, because small businesses like is a small business for a reason. Because like people don't have money. And so other people were like, yeah, because you're trying to charge them $4,000 and that's a lot of
A
money.
lot of money.
Yeah, like it's just a shit ton of money for one video. Like I could pay $4,000 to Yelp and run ads all over, whatever. Or $4,000 to, a fucking billboard company and at least have like a billboard up for a while. But like the reason we don't do that is because we're a small business and we don't have the money.
Right.
So I think that like for him, it's just like again, like not understanding who you're talking to and and what you're responsible for, I guess. But also like you're right, like then there's like the people that like put all these other things on. It's like, Gavin Newsom is standing up to Trump right now and people are like, "Yeah, but Gavin's terrible." Yeah, bro, he's not perfect. We don't, he cheated on his wife and got married to his
Right.
mistress and some other shit, I don't know. But ultimately like what's your governor doing?
Right. And what did Gavin agree to be responsible for? He
Yeah.
agreed to be responsible for the people in California. And if this person who has some sort of power over California is doing things that harm Californians, then he's responsible for that.
Yeah, it's like I don't think you understand like how much ICE has like dampened our Los Angeles
Right.
economy. Yeah, like people are afraid to go out and people, and I'm sure it's not doing any favors for DC right now to have the National Guard. Like,
No, I saw the businesses posting and they're like, nobody is here. And it was all of a sudden, like I didn't plan for this. I got food rotting in the back. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's devastating and it's
Yeah.
sudden. Yeah.
And it's like I hate that people are like, well, y'all are acting like DC doesn't have a problem. Like you guys act like crime doesn't happen anywhere. Like you want there to be like, okay, Oklahoma City is like the most crime-free place in the nation or something. And you guys are like red, red, red. But like it's
No,
not
somebody
crime
got
free.
shot leaving a bar in like where I live and it's like super rural and it was just some biker bullshit, which is though it's a gang. It's a rural version of a gang. You would
Yeah.
have gang violence here. Like that's bullshit. But I think that people I had this experience. Me and my husband went to Balmorhea. If you don't know where Balmorhea is, it's really close to the border. It's basically the border between
Okay.
Texas and Mexico. And there's a hot springs there. You can swim in it. So we're swimming in this hot spring, and it's like the most peaceful, quiet place on earth. And this lady, who's obviously MAGA, swims up to us and she's like, "Oh, you guys from Oklahoma? Oh, I'm from Oklahoma too," and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, "Yeah, you just have to be really careful about going to the border. I mean, you hear what they're doing down there." And I'm like, "Baby, the border is 15 minutes from here. You're at the border." She's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, they got
Yeah.
AK-47 and they're da 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 da." And I think that people think they watch Fox News and Fox is like, it's a war zone. And they actually think it's Tel Aviv. And I'm like, no. So they think that where they live is crime free. And they think that if they went to LA and they got off the plane at LAX, people are going to start.
Yeah. Just like,
rat-tat-tat-tat.
yeah. And they might if you do the wrong things, babe. But it's like, but I think that that's anywhere. Like, again, if you're traveling through, like, when you drive from LA to Oklahoma, there's like all these places along the route where there's no, like, like there's no real people and that's scary. Like, you know, all you have to do is catch the right person at the right time, and you're a statistic, and that's it. But I don't know. It's just like to try to act like DC is like the worst of the worst. Just is insane.
It
But
is.
anyway, I guess we should wrap this up.
All right.
So do you want to leave off with like what you're reading or watching?
Yeah, I'm finishing up the Ballard series by Michael Connolly. It's been all right.
Okay.
I'm also reading Red Rising. I have some thoughts. But anyway, go. What are you reading, Clarence?
The Long Walk by Stephen King.
Oh, how's that?
Fucking boring, dude. Oh my god. They're just walking.
Are you watching it because of the movie that's about to come
Yeah.
out?
I went through
Yeah.
it.
Okay. I'm kind of curious. I mean, I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm like, it just sounds like the Trail of Tears, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Oh shit, I didn't think about that correlation. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, but who knows? I mean, I don't know how they got to be there. So anyway,
What are you watching?
I'm sad about the Thursday Murder Club, and I started listening to a different series called The Charity Shop Detective Agency.
How far are you into it?
It's not by the same author, it's by a completely different author. I have 2 hours. I was like, let me see, what chapter am I on? I'm on chapter 52. So
You like it?
I do like it. Yeah, I mean, it's cute. You know, I was like, what also is interesting is like they mentioned the Thursday Murder Club in their in this. So it was like, oh, they were like, oh, you know, like comparing themselves as like, oh, we're being like a little Thursday Murder Club, you know. So I was like, oh, that's cute. But you know, it's a cute little story. I listened to a different detective agency story too, and then Tiara was reading this book called Unoffendable, so it's in my Audible as well. And so I've just like been switching between that and this other book called Radical Acceptance, which is Buddhist.
You know, Buddhist is pretty gangster.
It is. I mean, I was like, I think that like I don't know. I just find it really interesting and healing. I think maybe I told you the first time I read Pema Chodron. She's also a Buddhist author. I was like, it was really hard to follow, but then like the more you kind of get into it, I think it's a little bit easier to like understand. Like when people say like to feel the emotion, I think that was a little confusing at first, but like to give into the emotion like is a big brain thing that I don't think I really gave a lot of weight to before. But I do like a lot of the Buddhist teachings and books. And oh, and I finished this book called Working Identity, and they also had a touch of Buddhism in there.
I think there's a lot of wisdom in Buddhism, and I think that a lot of people, we went to a Buddhist temple for a while before COVID shut it down, and they just invite everybody in because they think that their teachings can help everybody, and I really think that they can.
Yeah. Have you ever read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius?
I think I've started it, but my ADD won't let me.
Yeah, I mean it's on Audible too, or you know, I don't know if it's in different audio books. I think like Audible does this thing where they do stuff like it's reading by AI or something. But that's kind of how I finished it. But I was like, it was again very similar, like mindfulness and like clearing your brain, and it's good.
I wish I could meditate. I've tried for years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't meditate like that, but I think that like there's pieces of it that are good.
All right. Well, I love you.
All right.
Love you.
too. Okay. So
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the It's Fine, Sweetie podcast.